that you can do on your own with your reformer at home. I'm starting out with 3 red springs. On your reformer, I think that still is 3 springs, maybe a 4th spring if it doesn't feel quite heavy enough for you. We're going to start just by warming up your whole body first. We'll finish up with some foam rolling and some stretches so that you can go about your day after that. So lie all the way down on your back. We'll start with footwork. You're going to go heels on the foot bar to begin with. Just press the legs out. Stand here for just a second. I want you to make sure everything's aligned. Look at your feet. Make sure you're lined up on that foot bar. Pull the abs in from here. Stretch out nice and long through those legs, and then drag yourself back in. So we're pressing and pulling. Press. 3. Press out. 4. Drag in. 5. Pull in. 6. 7. Try to stretch your legs as long as they can be. Make sure the fronts of the legs get nice and strong. And on the last one, you're going to stay out there. Switch to the ball of your foot or to your toes. You're going to lower your heels underneath the foot bar. Hang here for 2 breaths. Just let those heels sink under the foot bar. And then if it feels good, go ahead and pedal out those feet. You're just going to lift and switch, lift and switch, lift and switch. And remember, we're warming things up right now, so push through the legs and drop. Lift. Really use the muscles of the calf to lift up and get some blood flow in there before we really start stretching it out. Lift and switch. Lift and switch. Keep your heels high. Bend your knees. Drag in. Tailbone stays heavy on the ground as you do it. Press out and pull in. Press out. Pull in. Press. And press. Again, you're trying to stretch out through those legs, make them nice and long and straight as you go. The last one. I'll stay here. This time, drop those heels under and come up. Down. 2. Sink and lift. 3. Trying to get that blood flow through the feet, through the calves. All while keeping those abs pretty tight as you move. One more time. Pedal the feet out. You can go a little bit slower here if you want to. Sink into this heel, let that calf get a stretch. Up and switch. Up and switch. Up and switch. One more each side. Up. Switch. Last one. Up and switch. Bend both knees. Bring yourself all the way in. Let's transition your feet so they're out nice and wide. Heels are on the foot bar. Again, tailbone is heavy on the ground. You press out and drag in. Press. Think about it as a squat, pressing out of that squat and sinking down nice and deep. So your tailbone stays heavy, your abs stay nice and tight as you go through it. And stretching out from the hips, finding length in the legs, pushing yourself as far away from that foot bar as you can go. One more time. Come all the way back in, stay here, feet wide. I want you to drop your knees over to one side, take an inhale, stretch that opposite arm out, lift up, switch over to the other side. Stretching the opposite arm out, letting the knees fall. Really let go of the leg that's on the bottom. Keep both arms out wide. Use your abs to lift you up and switch. And drop this knee. And lift up and switch. And drop this knee. And again, up. And up. Trying to keep the shoulders on the ground, allowing the hips to sort of move freely, letting the knees drop. Opposite hip can come up off the ground, no problem. Just keep the shoulders down. One more time. Come all the way back in. Bring your feet in. You're going to hold on to the posts or the pegs behind you. If you don't have pegs in your machine, hold on to the shoulder rests. Lift your feet up. All I want you to do from here is stretch the legs up to the sky and bend. Exhale, press up. And bend. Notice as you send your legs up, you're trying to straighten through the back of the legs. However, you don't have to fully straighten those knees if it means that your back starts to round. So I want your back heavy on the ground. Press the feet and bend. Find length and bend. 2 more times. Up and up. Stay here flex and point your feet. Try to do alternating feet, switch and switch and switch. Again, getting some stretch, getting some blood flow, getting some movement in those calves. Roll the ankles, roll them the other way. You're gonna roll yourself up to seated. Take off one of your springs. If you have 4 springs on, take off 2 springs. If you have only 3 springs on, take off 1. Lay all the way back down, grab the straps. You're gonna put your hands into the handles. My reformer has 2 handle loops. I'm not sure if yours does, but the shorter loops will make it a little bit heavier. Legs come up. We're just gonna press straight down and up. Think about letting those arms press right down by your sides, keeping your collarbones nice and wide, reaching through the shoulders. Exhale as you press. Waking up the arms. 4, one more time. Press down 5, hold it here. Turn your palms so they face inward towards you. Open your arms out to the sides. Exhale, hug it right back in. Inhale, open. Feel the shoulder blades kind of squeeze together as you open. Hug back in. Open and open. Hug in 2 more times. 1 more. Bring your arms all the way up. You're gonna go feet into the straps, so stretch your legs all the way out. Put both feet into the straps. Float both feet up to the sky and just hold. Tailbone stays nice and heavy on the ground. Legs find the ceiling, really reach up. Think about length in the back of the legs, getting a nice stretch in the hamstrings. You may need a little bend in the knees here. Totally fine to have your knees bent. Do not try to force them straight if that's not for them right now. And a nice stretch through the back of the legs. Take a couple of breaths here. You'll press down through your feet, reach up. Think about using your hamstrings and your butt to make that happen. Lift up through the legs. Exhale and press down. Lift right back up. Exhale, press down. Keep this nice and strong as you press. And lift one more time. Circles, you'll send your feet out to the sides, around and in. We go up, open, and in. One more time in this direction, floating your feet up, keeping your tailbone nice and heavy. Open the feet, hug right back in, and then we go the other direction, open out. Press right down. Think of that backs of the thighs doing the work as you move. Open, float down. So you get that nice stretch in the inner thighs, stretch in the hamstrings, pull, 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 and then press with the backs of the legs. One more time in this direction, open, get a stretch in the inner thighs, hug and press. Now we'll pause for an actual stretch. You're gonna reach up and do anything that feels right for the legs, leaving the feet out to the side, hugging downward on the straps a little bit, or pulling downward on the straps a little bit to get a little extra stretch. This is too much stretch. Bend both knees and come in. Send one leg out to the side and just hang here. Kind of really root this butt down, keeping this hip heavy on the ground. And then you'll switch sides. Opposite leg stretches over. Open through this one. Maybe you push down on that bent knee. Drag that foot in. And then from here you can test out, sort of like Happy Baby in yoga, kind of holding on to the straps and pulling them in towards you with a slight bend in the knees. Pulling the feet towards you. Reaching out through the legs, getting a little extra stretch, bend, pull those feet towards you, stretch out and reach. And then pull the legs all the way in. Take your hands, put them right back into the strap. Feet can stay up if possible. You'll press your arms down to the sides, open out, but this time we're gonna circle around so they float back up to the ceiling, press down. We'll do 5 in each direction. Up, around, and press. And press, that's 3, open. Feel the shoulder blades moving away from each other. They come up and press. They reach, reach, reach. Up and press. One more time in this direction. Open, out, float, and down. Up and the other way. We go up, open, and hug, Collarbones get wide, open through the shoulders and pull into. 3 more in this direction, open, hug it in 3. And 1 more time. Bring the arms all the way up. Hook the straps onto the pegs, come up to a standing position. We're gonna stay on one side of the reformer. Bring yourself down 1 more spring. So take 1 spring off, you should be left with just 1. You're gonna push the carriage away from you, stretch out, opening up through the front of this hip. Let's move through this a couple times. Pull this leg in. Right now my knee is on the ground or on the mat. And then press and open to reach away. Drag and come in. Press and open to reach away. 1 more time, drag and come in. This time you're gonna press open, reach away, stay away. Float the same side arm up. So I have my left leg back, my left arm is up. Stretch away. If you want a little added extra stretch, you can feel free to pick this knee up, same thing. Arm stretches and reaches. Take another inhale, reach to the side a little bit. Open up through the side of the back, belly, leg. Come right back in. Bring it down. And we'll come over to the other side. So I'll step up. Same thing, I start with my knee down. I'm gonna press this leg away, reach out. Drag and come in. My knee is down. I'm working to round through my back a little bit. Open up through my spine. Reach. Hug and come in. Stretch, reach. Hug and come in. 1 more time. Stretch, reach. Hold it. Take that same arm, reach it up to the sky. So whatever leg is behind you, right now it's my right leg back, my right arm up. Big stretch up. Want a little added extra stretch. Lift that knee up off the mat. Lean to the side, big reach. Bring that arm down and come all the way in. We're gonna take the spring off altogether. I'm gonna put my mat in. You can either take yourself to the floor or put the mat on your machine as well. Remember what your machine does. So you're either gonna drop right down to the floor or you're gonna come onto your mat. And foam roller. Doesn't matter what you have, a long, big foam roller, small foam roller, anything goes. I'm gonna take the big one for right now. I want you to bring the roller, I'm gonna go backwards for a second just so you can see where I am. I want you to bring the roller to your upper back. Hands are gonna go behind your head, give yourself some support. Lift your bum up and roll through all the middle part around your shoulder blades and upper back. Roll through, pause, drop your bum down to the ground, sweep the arms to the side and to the side. So you're reaching through one elbow, side to side. Maybe even taking a breath as you stretch that elbow away from you. Grab onto the back of one leg, roll yourself up. We're gonna spin around facing the opposite direction. You're gonna do your quads. So the fronts of your thighs on the roller. Elbows down on the ground. Get your thighs onto the roller. Make big sweeping passes from the knees all the way up towards the hip crease. Pull through. And then you're gonna need a little extra weight over towards one side. I'm leaning to my right side first. I'm still on the front of my thigh, but I'm on the outside part of the front of my thigh. So roll through. Same thing, other side. Then you're gonna come all the way up. Off of those thighs, bring your hands onto the roller. Sit yourself into a child's pose and send that roller away from you. So the roller's gonna be like either right around your wrists or forearms. Take a big inhale, reach away. Exhale, round up. Inhale, reach away. Exhale, round up. So you're pulling some air into your back. Inhale to reach away, stretch, find length. Dropping your chest a little bit. Exhaling, rounding up, pulling the abs in, and then getting some space in that upper back. Inhale, reach away. Exhale to pull. We're gonna stay here. I'm gonna take one hand over to meet the other one. So I've got my right hand over towards my left. Place my left hand on top of my right. Reach away and stretch through that right side body. And I'm gonna take a gentle shift of my hips towards my left hand side to get a little extra stretch on the right. We'll come all the way up and we'll switch to the other side. So both hands over towards your right hand side, right hand on top of the left, stretch it away from you. Again, shift those hips slightly towards your right. Get a little extra pull in that left arm. Round up once, press it away. Come all the way up. But one more stretch before we stand. You're gonna be in this place on your knees. And keep your toes curled under, which is probably a pretty big stretch for your feet, and that's all fine because that's good for your feet. And I'm gonna just gently walk yourself back so that your hands are on the mat or on the floor or on the ground or whatever they can reach. And if you can, tuck your tailbone under a little bit and just get a nice, probably lots and lots of stretch through your quads. If that's too much stretch, this might be all the stretch that you need. Hands on your feet. Maybe you can go tented fingertips so my hands are not pressed totally to the ground. Tented fingertips, you just kind of press through your hips and get that nice stretch through the thighs. If this is way too much stretch on the thighs, shift yourself off the edge. One foot, let me do it where you can see me. One foot on the ground, one foot on the mat, and you'll do that same thing, except for just a little less pressure because you've got one leg released. So we'll do that same stretch in the thigh. And if the two-legged one was okay on your quads, then just stay there. And you'll breathe through it while I go on to the other side and just show you the other side too. Foot goes on the ground, one hand comes behind me. I'm just finding a little bit of length in those quads. Or a lot of length in the quads. We'll come all the way up. Take a nice big deep breath in. And exhale. And you are done.